Might have to get another one? Okay, we need to finish that one. Look at that. Already got a thumbs up and nobody joined. And then they joined it. Hey, thanks for joining us. Here we are, as promised. DBA 3.0 with Marty Schmidt. He's here to join us. And yeah, we'll do some of that stuff. So we're going to do a Q&A with Marty. Going to bring him up to date with all the Q&As we've done and see what his input is on some of this stuff too.
And at the end, there'll be auction off for a date, and anybody wants to go.
Wait. You got to cut in my wife. You know.
Oh.
She gets the money, you get the date.
Gets the money, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
honey,
like
look how much I
that's
made.
a win-lose right
I'm
there.
sorry, honey. Look how much you made.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and if you got any questions, go ahead and ask them on there, and we'll try to fit you in there. What, you got live telemetry there? Maybe?
I do there.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it here.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ta-da.
Yeah. It's negotiating.
Oh, it's negotiating. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and bring Marty up to speed. Now, these are questions that Mitch and I already asked, and they're kind of interesting. Some of them are, I don't know if they're personal, but anyhow, we'll just zoom through them here. You guys have any other questions for him that we're not covered on here? Anything DBA related, maybe something DBA related that you want to see Marty answer, and you know, you don't trust our opinion. You want to see what Marty's input is on it, and go from there. Okay, what is your favorite board game other than DBA?
Other than DBA?
Yeah.
Assuming DBA was a board game.
Okay. So, are we talking board game, or war game, board game?
Board game.
So you want to know what my answer was? My answer was Ascendancy.
Ascendancy, yeah. I heard that.
Oh, well, you know what this is.
Don't play dumb.
Yeah, don't play dumb. Come on,
All right.
Marty.
I like
We
it.
don't need to do that.
So name some of the ones you like,
Okay,
and then we'll
well,
pick from that.
I have like 350 board games in
Okay.
my
Oh
collection
my
at home.
gosh.
Don't pick Catan.
We said one.
You don't like Catan? I like
It
Catan.
looks like shit.
I like Catan.
And I don't like that you have to trade.
You don't have to.
You don't?
You don't have to.
Oh, they told me how to play wrong.
You can be a
Okay.
small colony.
You don't have to trade. No, so one of my favorite games is Acquire, which is an old 3M game.
I've never played
You
it.
never play that?
No.
I also like.
That's Donald Trump's favorite game.
There's
Acquire?
an old, very ancient game called Divine Right, which was put out by TSR years ago.
Okay.
And they had articles in Dragon Magazine about all the different countries on the
Is it
game,
like
all the different nations.
old, like Magic Realm old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and that's a favorite. Lately, the family's been playing things like Quirkle and Cat Lady and
We don't-
Ticket to Ride.
Whatever goes on in the
Okay,
bedroom,
yeah.
we don't want to know about that.
I haven't played Ticket to Ride. Did you ever play Empire Builder?
Empire.
Empire Builder is the train game with a crayon.
Okay.
It has a US, and
Right.
you have to take pigs to New York and something else, and you have to try to put those together. and
No,
stuff like that.
never played it. But
I
I
like that
have.
one.
I do have Rail Baron, which is an old rail board game.
Not 1830.
No. This one's you roll for a destination, and then you roll dice every turn to see how far your train moves. And once you make it to your destination, you get paid out in cash.
Okay.
And then you can buy rail lines, and if you're running on your rail lines, it's cheaper to operate every turn.
Hopefully,
Cost,
or you don't know how to run a business.
Right. But if you have to take, if somebody buys out all the routes into Boston, right, you're paying them to
That's
get
right.
in and out of that place.
Or you just say, I don't like those people anyways.
You know what?
Right.
They can
Boston's not
starve.
going to get poor.
Let them starve.
I like my favorite game is whichever one we sit down and play. So
This isn't one of the questions, but what is a game that you really do not want to ever play again? No, it's true. Mitch and I even have the same game.
really,
Yes.
okay.
So Battlestar Galactica.
I hate to say it, Mitch.
I will
but
play, and Mitch will throw the game.
I hate to say it, Mitch, but I am not a fan of the Ascendancy.
Oh,
I am not a fan.
Really?
Of it. It's too random. It's way too random.
Oh, okay. So you don't like
Right.
chaos management.
No, I don't like chaos.
We like
management.
chaos
Yeah.
management.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it's
Yeah.
just way too.
What I don't like about Ascendancy is a game, and I'm not particularly good at it, even though I did manage to win. That's how much you guys suck. Okay, I was able to win. Okay.
Win one.
If you don't win, just playing the game is interesting. Like,
Right.
see what happens. What I don't
Yeah.
like about the game is that the beginning is slow, but the middle game is like so fast. You don't get
Right.
to enjoy your build, and all of a sudden, like the game's over.
Right.
And I'm like, what? You know.
It's. Yeah, I just. I was,
Ascendant, you don't want to play Ascendant?
I was not a fan of it.
No? Okay.
If you twisted my arm, maybe I would.
Okay.
Because
Maybe
it's
the more.
Klingons.
Maybe the more plays, I would start to get the hang of it.
Right.
It is definitely not a easy to pick up game.
That's how I feel about Junta.
Oh,
Junta?
I like Junta.
Junta's great. Game.
yeah, 7.
Not with your board, it's
7
ugly.
people. 7.
You have an ugly board.
Ah,
And it takes too long.
yeah. It can.
It can.
It depends on
it's
how
a bit
much-
difficult. It's not that I
If you
can't
stop
handle-
revolting every
Right.
turn,
Well, it's not that I can't handle playing a long game, because I've played a board game for 10 and a half hours and it was never bored. But you have to plan like, okay, this could be an all-nighter. You know.
History of the world.
History of the World, it's funny. There's several games that I bought before I knew him.
Right.
We both had them. And then once I knew he had them, I got rid of them because,
Okay.
you know, we weren't playing them. And then we played them. But History of the World was a game that I picked up because I thought it was going to be like, A. The gameplay was going to be like A. It ended up being like Q.
Okay.
Like you only get to play one. It's a scoring game. It's not really a let's take the Assyrians and go in and raid. No, it's like you play them, you score them for one turn. So it's a. We played one time with all 7. We were like 7 people, right?
6,
Including
I think.
including a couple of girlfriends and wives.
Yes.
And the secret to that game was the less you knew about history, the better you did in that game.
Yeah.
Okay, so the girls just clean house, but it was a nice cooperative
Yeah.
game because we were helping each other
Yeah.
kind of score. I mean, they still had to roll their dice and stuff like that,
Exactly.
you know. But that was a fun game.
It was.
But it can take a while.
Britannia. You like Britannia?
It's the same game, right? You basically do the same thing. You're scoring
Right.
through with one thing.
It's kind of, it's
I
kind of
wanted to
risk
play
with
it.
more of a theme to it, really.
Yeah, I wanted to play it. I never had a chance to play it. It looks nice.
Bring my copy one of these times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played either.
I don't mind playing board games as long as they look pretty.
And,
And,
you
there's,
know,
and that doesn't really narrow
none
it
of
down.
us like, hey, can we just trade? No.
Like I've said it before, I'm a devout pacifist every day. I want to conquer, enslave people, genocide in the
Right.
game, you know. In real life, you know,
What
You
is
know.
best in life?
yeah. Okay. Cats or dogs? I'll answer that for you. Cats.
Cats.
He prefers to eat cats. Now you've got what, 8 or 9 cats?
No. We're down to 6.
Okay.
We're
Oh.
down to 6.
We're hungry, huh?
Fasting.
No, we
Fasting.
one went into renal failure and we had to send her over the bridge. So.
Renal is kidney.
Kidney failure. So, she was old. She had a good life. So it was tough.
Definitely a cat person. No dog.
Definitely cat. You know, my problem with dogs is I never had enough time to spend with a dog. The dog you have to put a lot more effort into, right?
Right.
You have to be their companion or make them your companion.
Right.
So my dogs were pretty much regulated to the backyard, and that's where they lived. And I personally watched 3 of my dogs run across the street right under cars. So I am not a dog person. I can't.
Yeah, anybody that would run away from you, Marty, they're trying to give you the
Yeah.
word.
I tell you, I just not a dog person.
Well,
I like them. If you have a dog, that's fine, as long as it's your dog and it
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't have
come
any
home with
pets.
me. I don't want it. I don't want to have
any
any
pets.
pets.
So here's the interesting thing. Okay, we just spent the weekend with folks that had 1 cat, and actually they had 2 cats. One of them was like Bill the cat, and he was like yeah, you know, like it was like a stray or whatever. They got rid of that one. And they have 4. I don't mind them because I'm not allergic to them. My daughter is. I'm not allergic to the cats. They don't bug me, and if they destroy furniture, it's not my furniture. I don't live there, you know, so I don't have a problem with it. But they're cool, you know. I don't have an issue with cats. So, question number 3, when I read it, let me preface it, is
Oh,
this
boy.
is a question that I could not answer for Mitch or for myself,
Oh, boy.
but I can answer it for Marty.
Marty.
What is your guilty pleasure? And I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. And it is very rated G. It's very G.
My guilty pleasure is I am a Pokemon Go addict,
Yep.
and I play that stupid little online game every day. Years and years ago, the family got involved in the Pokemon organized play community. People who play either the collectible card game or the DS video game version
Before it went to on the phone.
before they went to
Mhm.
Pokemon Go on the phone, and we became judges and league leaders, and we've been to the World Championships. My wife has been a head judge twice at the World Championships. We were all set to go to.
So your wife is an enabler.
Yeah. No, it's a great community. There's a lot of great people in it, and we have a lot of fun and meet people from all around the world.
And you said it was world champion. Is that in the U.S. or there's like people in?
Okay, so they have organizers that set up these. They used to have city championships, state championships, regional championships, national championships, and then the world championships. And you've got points in each one of these events depending upon how you did, and if you made the minimum amount of points that they required for the year, you qualified for the world championships. They've cut out a lot of the little local events now. They have just basically local league events that are very small, low-key, and then they have these big regional events, which are sometimes called internationals.
Okay.
And they've taken the place of the old national events. So where we used to have a Canadian, U.S., and Mexico national, now you have the North American international.
But that's not tied in at all with the phone game.
That's not
It's
tied
two
in.
totally different
That's
things.
two totally different things.
Okay.
So that's the Pokemon community. So that's kind of what got me out of playing miniatures so much for a while, because we got so involved with the Pokemon community. Yeah, it just I don't have a lot of gamers or game shops in my area. I'm in Brevard County, Cocoa Beach area.
Oh, you just have a beach. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, just
Oh,
have a beach.
don't.
Life is so
Yeah.
tough.
Yep.
So
I'll trade you.
anyways,
All I have is hippies.
And he's retired. Oh,
yeah,
my
retired.
gosh.
Yeah, retired.
Oh, the inhumanity of it
Three
all.
pensions. Yeah.
You live by the beach, you're retired, and no tan.
Oh.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah, I knew that was your guilty pleasure.
that was
I
mine.
also know your answer to the next question.
Okay.
Napoleon, Hannibal, or Alexander?
Oh, Hannibal.
Yeah. I knew yours was Napoleon.
Yeah.
Did you know mine was Alexander? If I have to pick those 3. Actually, I didn't pick him. I picked Pyrrhus.
Yeah,
Pyrrhus is more interesting.
cheater.
Yeah.
Pyrrhus is more interesting. Yeah. I believe in freedom.
Oh,
Give me 3 choices, I'll take 4.
oh. For now.
What's your favorite movie of all time? No clue. I have no clue what that is.
Favorite movie of all time.
All time.
Of all time.
These were sent in by the
Well,
Gold
these-
Star question asker, Patty Green from the UK.
Wow.
Hello, Patty Green.
Yeah, he's got him.
He's got a lot of questions.
Probably the first Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think this first Star Wars movie is better than Empire Strikes Back?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
See, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Because it has a beginning and an end, and
Right.
it's, you know.
I mean, I've been entertained by all of them, even the really, really crappy ones.
Right.
But just
What'd you think about that tie-in at the end of Rogue One? I thought that was awesome. The last 5 minutes.
yeah.
That was awesome.
See?
And I didn't see Star Wars in the movie theater because I was too young. You know, I was 6 when it
Well,
came out.
that's part of the reason.
Mhm.
You know,
Need to be 13.
I think I was in high school, and a buddy of mine said, "Hey, man, I've heard about this movie. We need to go see it." Okay. And we
Did you tell them before or after you smoke a joint?
We got, no.
Well, you lived in California.
That was before. That was before. I was very clean cut
Back then.
Back then.
Okay,
yes.
all right. As long as you set the record straight.
Pre-Navy. Pre-Navy.
Oh, so the Navy did it to you.
Navy
Okay.
did it to me. Yes. So you
What's
know.
that? The Harry Crystal? again?
So we go to the theater to see Star Wars, and it's packed, right?
Right.
The only seats we can find are in the very front row.
Oh yeah.
So
The neck brace seat.
we're sitting there like this,
Right.
watching, and that the Star Destroyer comes over the top of you, and the sound is just. And the movie theater had like these super surround sound speakers, and the whole.
Well, for
place-
1977,
yeah, for
surround
19
sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolby.
So yeah, I went to the theater and saw Earthquake with the big, huge speakers up on the stage and stuff.
Mhm.
The whole place rumbled. So, yeah, it was very cool, and it
So when
left
you
a
when you
impression.
sit at the front of the, because I've sat at the front of the movie theater. I've saw it. What did I see? Bumblebee. We hadn't seen Bumblebee in the front.
Okay.
I don't want to see a movie in the front, but
Right.
we went with people that show up too late to the movie theater. So like when I go to the movies is like 8 o'clock at night. Okay, I'm there in my seat at 7:30
Right.
because I don't want to miss the previews because I don't watch TV. So the only time I get to see
Right.
previews is there. I want to get the whole experience. So, but anyhow, so I did sit all the way in the front.
Uh-huh.
So, the credits that happen at
Right.
the beginning of all
Yeah,
the Star
yeah.
Wars movies, is it easier to see at that angle, or is it actually exactly the opposite of the angle you need to be at, and it actually is worse?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Anyhow,
we were able to read it.
Yeah.
It was just a very cool effect, and the way it worked out.
so that experience that you just described was Raiders of the Lost Ark for me.
Okay.
I mean, I saw that in the movie theater, and I didn't go to movies when I was a kid. I was just happened to see it. I'm like, hey, there's going to be some movie. Like, what is it about? Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm like, what? Noah? I don't know anything about I don't know anything about Ark of the Covenant. To me, the Ark is like, okay, there'll be 2 giraffes and whatever,
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Han Solo's in it. I'm like, okay. Window or aisle?
Aisle.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What if you're sitting next to a punk that wants to close a freaking window? That's the problem with having the aisle. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
your family,
Right. Well, usually, we travel 3, 4 of us at a time, so we're usually taking an entire row,
yeah.
and or we're taking 2 and 2, and one of the kids or my wife always wants the window.
Yeah.
So
I prefer the aisle.
I prefer the aisle.
You can get up whatever you want.
Exactly. Just don't like being bumped in the elbow with the drink cart.
That does happen
That does happen.
all the time.
It is the one negative about it.
And you don't get bumped by the people that work on the planes anymore. What do they call them? The stewardesses.
Right.
Man, I remember as a kid in the 80s, the most attractive women in the world
Right.
were stewardesses. I don't know what happened.
People right.
And well, Don actually told me, he says they're the same ones.
They just aged up.
Oh man, and they don't work for Eastern Airlines anymore. Okay, what is the best tank of World War II?
I have no idea.
What do you mean you don't have no idea? You don't do any. You've never done World War II gaming. You've done.
Only naval.
You've never done like a Normandy game.
Nope.
Never.
Never. Other than
Virgin.
other than Memoir 44.
No, it doesn't count. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All we used to do was that. That's all we used to do.
No, I played some, but not.
So no idea what the best tank of World War II is. So I could just throw, Italian M1 1340 and you'd buy it.
Panther?
That's the one. That's what I said. 30 years ago, everybody would say Panther.
Yeah.
No, I'm not so sure.
No.
I kind of dodged the question too. because I don't know there's a right answer. You know,
Yeah.
some of the German tanks were good, but the problem is the German tanks that were really, really good were at a point where there was like no air support at all for the Germans, so you're like a sitting duck.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, this could be the great tank of the world, but whatever you do, don't make yourself known because you're hosed.
Don't be
You're going to be
seen.
eaten by a typhoon or a P-47 or something
Yeah.
like that. You know. What makes you laugh no matter what? Tickling.
My, dumb jokes.
Okay, but
Dumb
what, like
jokes.
jokes or?
Well, actually, my kids make me laugh no matter what. They just say funny things every once in a while. Remind me to. I have to show you this. I think it's a Father's Day card that my son Marty gave me,
Okay.
and I've got pictures of it on my phone. I'll have to show it to you, but it's just it cracks me up every time.
Okay.
I see it.
Is it like potty humor or?
No. It's
You can show me later.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
It's just
Your kids.
it's like, Dad, you've taught me so much. You know, and I really appreciate you. One of the most important things that you ever taught me was you flip the card over, and it says, "Don't piss off Mom." and he writes in it. He says, "I learned that one a long time ago."
And so do you.
And so, yes. So
Does she have a temper?
she can be. Yeah, she's Irish girl.
Is she?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes.
You guys know what they say about Irish girls? I don't.
They have tempers.
Do they?
I
Summer or winter?
Summer. Yeah.
I'm totally a winter person.
Summer person.
No summer for me.
So,
Unless
Yeah.
I'm wet.
oops.
look out.
Unless I'm wet. What are your favorite song lyrics?
My favorite.
I'm
song
telling you,
is-
these questions
really,
are out of nowhere.
Really weird.
No, but they're they're PG. They're G questions. They're not inappropriate.
Favorite song lyrics.
Do you listen to song lyrics? Is it important to the song?
Of
It isn't
course.
for me.
Of course,
It isn't for me because I don't hear them well.
So I like, there's people like Jackson Brown and Bonnie Raitt have some very emotionally evocative music, right?
Okay.
With really good lyrics that make you think about life and how maybe this song fits with your life.
Okay.
So yeah, I like good lyrics. Again, I have such an eclectic.
It's nothing by Frank Zappa, is it?
No.
Oh,
Elvis Costello, I like him.
Mhm.
He's kind of the kind of a original punk, or post-punk or whatever. I love the song "Horseshoes and Hand Grenades" by Green Day. And
There's a song called that?
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
oh yeah. And
That's
there's
cool.
also a song called "Know Your Enemy,"
Mhm.
and it is really it's just I love the energy in that song, and
Oh, I dig in the energy. I could care less what the song's about.
so
And I like a lot of instrumental stuff.
I do
So,
too. Since I came to Florida, I got on a blues trip, so
Okay.
we saw B.B. King a couple times. I've seen Clapton. I've seen Robert Cray. So Joe Bonamassa is the most recent. So I like that storytelling type
Okay.
of song. So
well, along those lines of that question, what's your favorite DBA period? Book 1, 2, or 3?
Well,
2, 3, or 4?
uh,
This is like a shotgun of questions.
Oh, yeah.
So,
obviously, I think I started out interested in Rome and Carthage and Punic period.
Okay.
So book 2 was originally, but I've since kind of expanded more into book 3 and early book 4.
Okay.
But I'm mainly, probably mainly book 2.
I would have guessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your most played music?
My most played music,
Yeah.
blues.
Blues is what you like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or prog.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a big Yes and
No.
Genesis and.
Yes? No. Maybe.
I heard you like Journey.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you,
No. Yes, I like Journey. Yeah.
yes.
So I saw Journey on the first tour that
They ever did.
Stephen
Perry did?
Perry
Yep.
Okay.
had just
Yeah.
joined the band.
Okay. In
Yeah.
78,
Yeah.
right? 78 or 77?
77, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're
So-
still around,
Yeah.
but not with him.
Not with him.
Now hardly any of them. Huh?
So
The Voice.
Yes.
there's an interesting documentary on
Yeah.
on AXS
About Perry?
about
There or them.
about Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple that are good.
Yeah.
What's the best thing that happened to you recently?
The best thing that happened to me recently, I retired
Ha ha!
Successfully.
successfully. Yes. So
Yeah, that's kind of hard to
and
beat.
being able to come up here and visit you guys, that's a really cool thing.
Aw.
Are they tied into each other?
They're kind of tied into each other.
So, like, had you not retired, you would have come up?
You'd have to work.
Well, I wouldn't. I'd be.
You'd have to be at work.
Yeah, I'd be working.
So you have to come up on the weekends when people that work have a day off.
Well, I worked a 980 schedule, so I had every other Friday off. So I could have come up on off Fridays.
Ha
Now, when you had that schedule, did you get screwed by having to work a weekend?
No.
Okay.
No.
So there was no downside to it.
Yes, there was a downside.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, so you have a lot of holidays that fall on Fridays,
Right.
right? And because those are off days, you don't get holiday pay on those days because you're off.
But you still have the off day.
It's a non-working day. You still have the off day.
Okay.
The first
But you
time,
don't have to come in on Sunday
Right.
because you had the holiday off on Friday.
So I think when they first introduced the plan to us, I went out and calculated it that I was going.
There's
to,
always one, folks.
Yes.
I was going to lose 16. Was it 16 hours of pay or holiday pay that I would have gotten by this new schedule? But I would have every other Friday.
But they got him.
No, well, I wasn't me.
Sticking it to the Marty.
The company introduced it. So.
Yeah.
This thing's freaking out. Well, one of my favorite sayings, technology's great when it works, folks.
It's trying to save something to the calendar for some reason.
Oh.
I say snap in half. Tell them
Yeah.
show them who's boss.
It
I'll
probably
save
picked
you.
up on something we said and thought I was asking it a question.
Oh.
Just do what I do at home.
I don't
Alexa,
like-
shut the hell up.
I don't like machines that think for themselves. They'll take over the world. Oh.
Get back to
What's my
YouTube
thinking
again.
for you? It's all over.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek or no Star Wars.
You mean
Like
it's
Star
even
Wars.
close?
Okay, so again,
It's a series.
in my youth, I was watching
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
You know why? Because there was no Star Wars.
Yes, there was
That's
no
why.
Star Wars.
That's
in
why
it.
he was watching it.
Yeah.
As movies, Star Wars. As TV entertainment, I prefer. Well, there is no really Star Trek TV
There's Clone
except
Wars.
for
There's Clone Wars
there's
for
Clone
Star
Wars.
Wars.
And
Mandalorian.
I've been enjoying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, for TV, I like Star Trek.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I thought, as a little kid, I watched the moon landing, and I thought I
astronaut.
wanted to be an astronaut.
Yep.
Gosh darn it! But I wasn't good at math.
You just have to be good.
So I became an engineer instead.
Okay.
huh.
Oh, not have to be good. That bridge that fell down, he built it. Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
That one in Oregon, right? Or is it Washington that has the?
No,
Remember
it was pretty cool, as a kid watching those launches on TV in black and white and wanting to be an astronaut, and then I ended up working.
You mean the supposed launches? The supposed moon landing?
That's right.
The supposed moon landing.
Come on, Marty. What's up?
So I ended up working for Lockheed Martin at Cape Canaveral, right? I drove onto the base every day, and I could drive out to all those pads and where all those historical launches took place, and it was just very cool, man. It was just very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Here's the question. We don't know how it's worded properly, so we'll ask it twice. What will you not be doing in 10 years?
What will I not be doing in 10 years?
Working.
Working.
What will you be doing in 10 years?
What will I be doing in 10 years?
Laundry. Hey, I do the laundry. There's nothing wrong with that.
Doing that now.
I hope I will still be gaming. So
Why wouldn't you?
yeah, exactly.
Is this place handicap accessible?
Yeah, you better
We'll make it.
Hey, so let me in. All right.
Make sure it's an electric chair.
Which is the best cavalry regiment of the Napoleonic Wars?
Know nothing about.
So you know less about the Napoleonic period than me.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. That's
I guess that was just a question for me.
that was one of the things when I first started going to game conventions, and I was going, when I first started, I was only interested in World War II Naval,
Right.
playing general quarters, right?
Okay.
And then these guys in my club that I found after I got out of the Navy were into Johnny Reb,
Okay.
and so I played a lot of Johnny Reb.
Right.
But we would go to the conventions, and the Napoleonic guys were kind of like, every time I played Johnny Reb, most of my forces spent all their time running off the battlefield in terror. So
Nice.
yeah, they would break and flee, break and flee. So I didn't care for the Napoleonic period very much.
So what happens if
Gotcha.
those worded this way? What is your favorite Napoleonic sailing ship's name?
Well, okay, now we're talking.
I knew
Wooden
it.
ships and
Is there
iron.
another one?
Huh?
Not really. That's the
Well,
one.
it's like, yeah,
That's the one.
That's a great game.
there you go.
That's a great
It's a
game.
fun game.
There you go.
It's a fun game.
Gotta
So,
reword
I like
Well-
anything naval.
so World War II Naval is what you used to play, which is that's what I started with.
Right.
Because in junior high, but I didn't give two shits about the Pacific.
Right.
I wanted to. I like playing games where the Germans were the bad guys
Right.
because they're great at that. I mean, you guys in Germany did a great job with that. But then as I got older, I really liked the Mediterranean because the Mediterranean allowed. I mean, the British ships in World War II
Right.
were really, really cool with the names and the camouflage schemes, and they couldn't be everywhere.
Right.
And so you had carrier. They could have so there was aircraft that could
Right.
be, but there wasn't decisive.
Right.
So I like the Mediterranean. What was your favorite period for World War II naval?
My favorite period. Okay, so again, from grade school, I got those Scholastic book club things, and you would order books for once a month or something like that. And one of the books I got was called The Mosquito Fleet, and it was about the PTs,
Okay.
and it was the PTs in all theaters. So,
Okay.
so the small craft is what I first got interested in. Guadalcanal, the PT boats,
The slot.
the slot,
Mhm.
getting MacArthur out of Luzon, the Med, with them battling the Italian boats. The
Those
Italians
X-boats and all that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, the Italians apparently had some great small craft. So, and then of course the Channel stuff.
Well, the Italians did really well with those small boats.
With the small boats.
Because they could drive really close to the shore and go, hey, that's where I used to work, whatever. And then they don't run their ship aground.
I don't know what happened.
So, anyway.
After
So that's, you know.
that. Oh, hey, baby, come with me.
What is your favorite fictional character?
Favorite fictional character? Slippery Gem de Bees.
Explain.
The stainless steel rat.
Explain.
It's Harry Harrison.
Explain.
He is.
I've got all night.
It's a far future,
Okay.
and he is a thief who the only time he ever got caught was when he was very young and put in prison because he mistakenly thought that if he wanted to learn how to be the best criminal possible, that he needed to learn from other criminals. And where did you find other criminals was you had to go to jail, right? But he soon found out that only the bad criminals are in jail. So once he got out, he never got back again. But he eventually gets caught by the government or the Intergalactic Empire. It's been a long time.
So
since
this
I
is
read
like
it.
a book or a comic book? Or?
It's a book series.
Okay.
And they convert him into being a good guy, but he's not always a good guy.
Living on the edge.
He's making money on the side here and
He's
there.
chaotic neutral.
He's chaotic neutral,
Okay.
exactly. So
Okay. What is your favorite ACW general?
ACW General.
Anybody keep your troops from running?
Probably Sherman. Big Georgia Howe, man.
Okay. What's your favorite Monty Python film? Is it any contest?
Let's see, I heard yours.
Yeah, mine's what everybody is, except the one guy didn't like mine.
Oh, did you say Life of Brian?
I did not say Life of Brian.
Oh,
I love the skit though of the stoning though.
Oh, okay.
I love the stoning skit, but
yeah, it's gotta be Holy Grail.
the Grail.
It's gotta be Grail. Neat. I think that's the only one I've seen.
What's your favorite scene of that film? I know there's many, but you have to pick one.
Yeah, pick one. Ooh.
I like the two huge tracts of land
Okay.
scene. Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's humorous.
You killed all my guests. Sorry about that. Must be Canadian.
Oh.
What book are you currently reading?
What book am I currently reading?
Because you're retired.
Or in my case, being read to you.
Because you're
Let's
retired.
see. What was I think I reread the Silmarillion by Tolkien recently.
Sounds like a disease.
It's all the background data for how he set up the world.
Oh, okay.
You know, the backstories.
This is Genesis for his world.
Yes.
Ah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So.
Okay.
Prior to that, I think it was.
So you read mostly fiction?
Yeah. I like sci-fi and fantasy stuff. So.
My daughter didn't read anything until maybe a year ago, and now she's consuming 500-page book over a weekend.
Really? What is she reading?
Dystopian stuff.
Dystopian stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like current events. What is?
I'll have to give her some suggestions. I know a couple that are pretty good.
What is? I don't know what the names of this stuff is, but
Yeah.
she's just devouring it. I told her that's great because, I never understood people that don't like books because I don't care if you're just into sports. Read a sports book. I mean, there's interesting stuff. You're automatically going to be better at comprehending. It's calming.
Right.
It's too calming for me. It puts me to sleep. But you work on spelling,
Right.
you know, all that.
She's not reading S.M. Sterling, is she?
Probably not. What is that?
It's an author, but he puts a lot of sex in his
No.
stories. So.
No,
Oh,
she,
yeah,
she'd
Tony,
tattle on
yeah.
herself.
Oh, okay.
No, she's a good
Okay,
kid.
good.
She's a good kid. What is your next DBA army going to be?
My next DBA army,
Another non-painter.
another non-painter.
Yes.
But no, I have, since I based up the Muslim Indians, so easily, I found I have a whole bunch of Greeks, like a Spartan hoplite army that needs to be rebased, and I've also years ago, Dr. Parrish, I gave him some money and he went to StoreCon and said, yeah, pick me up an army. He comes back, he goes, here. And it's painted, but it's not based. It's just all the figures are glued
What are
to
they?
foam core. It's a Persian, Achaemenid Persian
Okay.
army. So
Okay.
I gotta get those. Those would be fun.
The Persians are good.
Oh, yeah.
You like the Persians.
Oh, yeah.
I have all those Greeks, so I might
Yeah.
as well get the
Yep.
Persians.
Yep. What is your favorite little-known historical fact?
My favorite little.
So what is your obscure historical fact that you like to throw at a dinner party that nobody knows? I mean, assuming you went to dinner, assuming somebody invited you to go to a dinner party.
So, boy, I wish I could remember the name of the book. But something I read recently about World War II.
It's recent. You already
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah. Well, I got a lot.
World War II is recent. For
I got a
him.
lot on my plate,
He's
and I'm
retired.
old.
He's forgetting already.
Yeah, I'm getting really foggy, man. No, but just how close World War II Pacific was.
Was it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Like when I gained World War II Pacific, I had a friend
We
of
were
mine.
down to one carrier in the entire Pacific at one time. One. That's all we had.
Yeah, but there was 47 more on the way.
Took a while.
So here's the
Yeah.
interesting thing, okay? What if Pearl Harbor wouldn't have happened? So if Pearl Harbor doesn't happen, now you've got a U.S. battleship fleet that maybe your strategy is based on using them
Right.
instead of not using them.
Right.
So does that change everything? Does that slow down the pace of where everything goes? Do you not build as many carriers because you've got the battleships to go on? You know, it's interesting. It's interesting how something like that.
I think that probably we would have run into a battle more like the Japanese wanted. That great victory, like Tsushima. Where they would hear all those battleships would be caught by all their carriers and just sunk.
Yeah.
So.
I did do World War II gaming, but I was after Guadalcanal for dinner.
Yeah.
The Guadalcanal, love the ABDA stuff.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're the Dutch, and you get to play the Australians, and you get to divvy up the,
Yeah.
you get the role play between the stuff. What was your worst subject in school?
My worst subject in school, besides PE, geek. I'm a total
blasted in
uncoordinated.
dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, dodgeball's freaking awesome.
He's getting blasted in it though.
No, dodgeball's great because you can throw that ball at somebody's freaking head and knock them out.
No, I like you. I was good at math up to a point, but then when we started getting into the advanced algebra stuff, that's when I started.
It doesn't make any sense.
My head started
Like
going.
were you good at the quadratic formula? And you're an engineer. It's useless, folks. You know what it's for? It's for math teachers. We went to the moon. Not a frickin' person in NASA used the quadratic formula. Okay, we beat the Soviets in the freaking Cold War, and nobody used the quadratic formula except some nerd burglar back in a high school in Modesto, California. I know that's where you're from.
That's where I'm from.
I love like proofs. Okay, proofs sounds like the most. I had a great teacher. It was like proofs is like being the lawyer. Like, okay, well, you're guilty because of this and this because of that and because of that, and so it's logic. It makes sense. Geometry makes sense. Okay. Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, or other favorite Roman?
Other favorite Roman?
Yeah, I know Hannibal.
Oh no. Holy cow.
Picks a Roman
That's actually a great. That's actually a great question.
That's actually
That's
a
actually a
good
great question.
You could pick a Roman that lost to him.
Vespasian.
Vespasian, huh? He was the guy that came out of '69, right? Okay. He was the one that survived all that.
Yeah.
Okay. His son was Titus, right? I think so. You know why I'm rusty? I haven't gamed that period.
Right.
When you game that period, see, that's the great thing about historical gaming. You learn real things that you can spit out at a dinner party. If you're ever invited to one, and then
Are you like dropping all these dinner parties like you want to have one or what? What's going on?
I want to be invited to one.
I've got a book at home that's got all the Roman emperors from start to finish, and little chapters on each one and what they accomplished or didn't, or
Trajan.
Trajan.
He was a Spanish one.
Yeah. Trajan. Was
And he pushed the farthest.
Yeah. So.
And said, we don't really like that Persian food. Not so much.
What else you got?
Okay, so these are new. These were all rehashed ones. So
those
you've
ones
done.
I
You
heard
passed
last
it.
week. Okay.
Maybe a C plus, B minus.
Yeah. I need to study more.
Vespasian's sons were Titus and Domitian. There you go.
Yeah.
Questions for Marty if he turns up again from Mr. Patty Green. What is Marty's favorite DBA army? I know it. And favorite match pair and why?
Okay, so obviously the first two armies I started with were Carthage and Rome. At the time,
Which are great starter armies.
Holy
March
cow.
1990, baby.
March 1990, when I first started, I think I started playing in April of 90.
Wow.
So how did you find out about this setting? Well, that's actually the next question. How did Marty get into DBA?
Okay.
So how did you find out about that game?
So one of the club members, I was a member of what was called the South Bay Gaming Club. We met in the Cupertino Public Library in the San Francisco Bay Area, South Bay, San Jose area, and one of the guys went to Historicon, where Phil first introduced this game in the U.S. And he brought.
What was that guy's name? Because he's pretty responsible for it.
So I thought his name was Mike O'Brien.
Mike O'Brien, no.
Brian, but
No.
that's not him.
No.
It was Mike. I want to say Simpson.
Okay.
Michael Simpson.
It's all his fault we're doing
it's all
this
his.
and not
So-
playing World War II.
So
What an asshole.
So he came back with these rules, and we started playing. And at the time, all he had was 25 millimeter. 25 millimeter troops, and they were Army 1, Sumer and Akkadian, and he had
He had that?
He had that.
Wow.
He had Nubians and
Somebody likes naked
early
dudes.
Libyans. And,
Nubians.
yes. And he even had 25 millimeter Midianite Arabs.
Okay.
And we would
Dude's on a date.
and we would play, but we'd have to split we'd have to split the armies up. So we were playing 3-on-3 figures, right?
Okay.
Or 4 to 6 maybe on a good day, but And he had a really neat system for doing kind of a mini campaign on the tabletop.
Because that does not have a campaign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it has the campaign.
But he had his own campaign.
But he had his own campaign.
Okay.
And it was card driven. It was kind of like.
And that's the first Ancients you played.
That was the first Ancients.
Okay.
Yes. So, again, my introduction, I started with D&D in high school. When I went in the Navy and went into the USO library area to make my phone call home, because you could make a free phone call home, right? I ran into a guy who was playing Air Force and Dauntless,
Okay.
and we started kind of combining playing the board game and doing kind of a role play where we were a Pappy Boynton type outfit, and the better you did, you could improve your plane, and we would steal aircraft from Australia to improve our planes.
It's always Steve.
How rude.
How rude, yeah.
Those people are nice and everything.
I know. We just go,
hey,
Just stealing their women wasn't good enough.
brand new plane, let's go steal. Anyway, but
Well, wait a second. It's actually an American plane, at least in many ways, right?
Yes.
That's like an Indian giver. Yeah.
So anyway, when I came back, got out of the service,
Sorry about that.
No,
and I ended up working in the Bay Area, and I found a club called the Conflict Simulation Society, and they met in the East Bay Area, and that's where I met Manny Granillo and a lot of those guys. And then when I ended up working for Lockheed and moved into the South Bay, that's when I found the South Bay Club and got into DBA. So.
Interesting. What? We've already answered this one. What's your favorite historical general and why?
Yeah, Hannibal.
Why?
Just
Because.
the audacity of him.
Yeah.
He had.
Uppity Carthage, dude.
Yeah, he was. Of course, I've learned more about him since, my initial
learned the truth.
as a kid. I thought he was, a great leader. But
Have you read books on him?
yes, and I also watched a couple of.
Have you read Dodge's book? It was the Civil War. He's a Civil War general.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if he's a general, but he was in the Civil War, and he went and retraced his steps. In the 1880s or whatever it was. Yeah, it's interesting.
That one I haven't seen.
It's interesting. Question for all three of you: what's your favorite color? Blue. No, yellow. Green. Green's mine. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Yeah, I'm playing board game. I pick green because nobody wants green, and I got green eyes. I just took green. Just F it. I'll take green. What's your color?
Red.
Yeah, you're red all around.
That's because his eyes are red all the time.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Time to wake up.
What's the airspeed of an unladen swallow? African or European?
Yeah.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah. Got you.
Ah, joke's on you, pal. Okay, that's the new stuff here. I'm being called out. That I often call, all the time I do this. I call England the home of toys. No, it's the land of toys. England is the land of toys. Germany is the land of beer. Sorry, England.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. People in England are really defensive about their beer. Yeah? Oh well. In England, we think of... so the Scots don't matter now?
Oh.
In England, we think of America as the home of cowboys.
Okay.
England?
Never met one. No. People in England think of, or this person in England, it's probably common.
Oh, yeah. That's right, partner.
America is a home of cowboys. Have I ever played a cowboy war game? Have you ever played a cowboy war game?
Yeah.
I have. Jim Riley ran a game. It was very memorable. And it was, I don't know what set of rules it is, but it was similar to Pig Wars. Okay?
Right.
And these Pig War games, just to kind of give you a short end, it's irrelevant that it's Dark Age. In a nutshell, it's, you get to play a character, and his mission is to do, you have like a primary and a secondary. And it may be to get off the board, and of course everybody is in your way, so you kind of create your own little, it creates a dialogue, basically. And you you have to find your way of getting it. And what he did in this cowboy game, as well as a Western game, is everybody got to play two forces. So one of them I got to play Geronimo, and you're playing like 4 guys or whatever, and you have to get off the board of this other one. And the other one I was playing Mexican Banditos. Now I'm playing both forces at the same time. Now this board was probably 10 feet by 24 feet. It was all 28 millimeter. So it made you it's not like you were stuck in one end of the board and all you saw was around you. You didn't get to explore.
Right.
You had 2 different forces and 2 different parts of the board, so you had some interactions.
Okay.
That's was very memorable playing. That may be the only cowboy game that I've ever played, but it was a lot of fun. How about you?
So I played several of the our friend who's the model guy does all the zombie games.
Oh, Rob Morse.
Rob Morse.
Okay.
Okay. So Rob Morse also likes to run Western stuff like the James Gang bank robbery and the shootout getting out of town.
Okay.
So I played many of those games with him.
Okay.
So
You?
Yep.
Okay. What was it?
We homemade Western skirmish with the dentist.
Oh, okay. Do you like Western movies?
oh, of course.
You?
Tombstone, man, all the way.
Yeah, Tombstone.
Oh,
Other than
yeah.
that one.
All the one-liners, man.
I mean, other than
I mean,
Tombstone.
Huckleberry.
Silverado.
Other
But then it's got to go John Wayne then after that.
How about
Yeah.
Silverado?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen
You
it.
gotta see
I've avoided it. Yeah, I've heard it's good. I finally saw Unforgiven.
That's very good.
I was expecting it to be better, but it's not really my.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing. Django. That's what it was.
Django.
What Django?
Unchained!
Hey, the scene with the bags. We're big fans of that scene with the bags. That's some hilarious stuff right there. Me and mine.
Can't see.
Check it out if you haven't seen just the bag scene. That's hilarious. Oh, of course, Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
the best
yeah.
Western
The best
film of
Western.
all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to show my daughter that film. She'll like it because I'm raising her old
Oh
school.
my gosh.
That's some funny crap. Have you ever worn a cowboy hat? Hit it.
On a regular basis?
No, just ever.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. You?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't think I have.
Don't you get it?
As a kid, I never played Cowboys and Indians. It was always war.
So
Because he was the Indian.
sombrero?
No.
No.
No, I mean I haven't avoided it. I mean, now I do. For a while there, we were riding horses every year. I enjoy that. I mean, I don't own one, but that's cool. You?
Oh yeah, I've rode horses.
You've done ridden?
I've done reading
You?
them.
I've ridden.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So speaking of writing stuff, have you ever wrote it?
Oh, here we go.
Here we
That's it.
Here we
It's
go.
it's
All right.
9:30. We gotta
Here we
wait
go.
that question until about 11 o'clock
Wait,
tonight.
Carthaginian fan, have you ever rode a real live elephant?
No,
Ha! I have.
Everybody has.
He hasn't.
I have not.
Like even at a fair or
And he's a
something like that.
Carthaginian
Really?
fan.
No. Camel neither.
Well,
I haven't ridden a
You're
camel.
missing out.
They still. But it was an Indian elephant, so they're not really a tie-in with the Carthaginians.
oh, there you go.
Have you landed in an airplane on an aircraft carrier?
Not lately.
No. Okay.
In a game, many a time,
On the simulator.
and successful. And a simulator, yeah. You better believe it. Aces of the Pacific, baby.
Oh, you catch the first quarter of the second.
P.S. I hope Mitch recycles his bottles. Do you recycle his bottles? The bottles? You don't recycle? Yeah, you do. You take them back to the recycler.
He takes it to the recycler.
You don't take them to the recycler? Wow.
Sorry, guys.
So, true story. I went to St. Pete Beach 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
and I was baffled by the amount of trash that was on the beach. Now, I'm not a save the world person,
Right.
okay? It may come as a surprise to some of you, okay? But It's garbage, man.
Pick up on
Why make the
yourself.
world look like
Right.
shit? Why let freaking dolphins and turtles are better than most people? Okay, there's no reason, especially both of them. Okay, they're better than most people. They, pick up your trash, folks. I never understand that. Like,
So
you
we-
bring your beer bottle.
So we talking about our most garbage experience?
Well, no, but you're about to.
Right after you get outside DC, everywhere
Yeah.
around there, I couldn't believe one time I was in there.
Well, that's
I
where your
walked
bottles
outside.
go.
That was, it was like, dude, they stuffed them in lamp posts. That was like
Lots of questions.
everywhere garbage.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
we're
oh
gonna
my
get to
God.
those questions because we're almost done here. So,
Okay, move
you
on.
know.
You're letting people get to know me, huh?
Yeah.
So one of the guys,
Auction
CJ
Naval?
Hobbyfly, I believe he's watching
Yeah,
us
he's
here.
watching.
Okay, he said he's one of the guys. He's one of my crew. Yeah, keeping it real, man. Doesn't like Kelly's Heroes. He hates it too,
Oh.
but he thought he was the only one. Not only is it a Vietnam movie set in World War II, it's kind of a doper movie set in World War II.
That's pretty good.
But it's a heist film masquerading as a war movie, and that pisses me off too. Right! Drink! Aye!
Drink.
No, true story. I like all the actors in that movie. I just don't like the movie. Okay, so here's some new questions from Batty Green.
Yeah,
Got-
I need another one.
Got 3 questions, and then we will
Read me-
get to.
Read me a delirium.
Delirium?
Yeah.
I'm out, so I guess I need one too. What you got over there? Tony drinks beer. I drink everything. What you got there? Oh, what is that delirium thing, anyways?
He needs to try that.
What is it?
Okay, so it's a Belgian.
It has
ale.
a cute elephant on it.
Oh, there. That's
It's Belgian ale. Okay, so that's a
Okay.
win.
It's got a very sharp cherry flavor to it.
Oh my! It's not like Red Bull, is it?
No.
Okay. All right,
But
hit
it
me up
is
with one of
red.
those. Yeah, it's got a cute
it's
elephant
really
on it.
good.
It is red.
And
Elephants are
it's
cool.
$6 a can. It's
Holy shit! I'll have 3.
thank you.
Oh, it's got elderberry. Oh, that's available at IKEA.
elderberry.
It's the IKEA berry. No, that's what's the IKEA berry?
This is great. This is a recent discovery.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
world of beer.
little elephant. Let's see what we got here. You gonna have the Chinese beer?
Yep.
Ying 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 ying.
Hey. All right, where are we at?
That's really interesting. And I don't
Yeah.
mean that. I don't mean
Right.
that in an ugly way. It just.
They're not gonna offend me.
I'll be honest. I'll be freaking honest with you. You know, that's excellent.
It-
Made with real elephant.
Made with elephant.
Looks like Red Bull though. Well, Red Bull's horrible. Okay, so we got 3 more questions for all of us, and then we'll get into the new ones. Okay, so
Okay.
all right. What is your favorite war movie? Please nominate in 4 categories. Number 1, before 1800. Well, there was no movies in the 1800s. Your theme, before 1800. Hit it.
For 18.
No, Waterloo is 1805.
Yeah, I know,
Is
I know.
1815, so forget that.
Yeah. The early stuff's a little harder. Oh, maybe. Wait, what's the question? One more time.
What's your favorite war movie?
War movie.
But the
So
plot
it'd have
has to be
like,
before 1800.
So it'd have to be like,
The
Yul
Patriot.
Brynner and
The
Tony
Patriot.
Curtis are in it.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about.
It's where the Poles and the
Yeah,
Russians.
yeah.
And Yul Brynner and Tony Curtis, I believe, are the Russians. Cossacks.
Cossacks. The Cossacks.
Is it Cossack?
I think it's called the Cossacks.
Cossack. There you go. Ding! There's mine.
Yul Brynner was Russian, right?
Yeah.
And Tony Curtis
I think it was.
is of Russian
Cossack.
descent.
He
No,
got-
I'm thinking of
So they got caught by
I'm thinking of the guy that plays Spartacus. He's of Russian descent. They both might be actually.
Douglas.
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. I haven't
That's a
seen
good
that one.
movie, too.
Haven't
Ooh,
seen
that's
that one.
hard.
You didn't go with John Wayne as Genghis Khan?
Oh, I should
Haven't
have.
seen
But
that.
no, I'm gonna go with Cossack with Prickle.
You.
The Vikings.
Oh.
The Vikings! I wish I was dead! The Vikings!
Yay.
I've seen that. That was a gaming buddy of mine. That was his
Yeah.
favorite movie. So I've seen it many times.
That's good.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
What was really strange was seeing The Warlord with Charlton Heston, where he plays a bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that was weird seeing Charlton Heston as a bad guy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur is such a hard time movie to find, and I want my daughter to see it.
Yeah.
Because those old movies are cool. It's like,
You have
we
VHS?
need a Roman ship.
You have
Well, you
VHS?
gotta frickin' build one. You know what?
VHS?
No.
You want to borrow a VHS thing machine, and I got it on VHS.
No, I don't want to see it that bad.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see it that bad.
I don't want her to see it that bad. Not a VHS.
Yeah.
The only thing that's old themed that is really, really good is, of course, the series Rome. But that's
Right.
not a movie.
That's not a
Yeah,
movie.
it's a
Rome is
series.
spectacularly. I would say that Rome is actually better. I know, I'm going to get castrated for this. Than Band of Brothers. It is really freaking good. It is, and the interesting thing about Rome is I saw it when I was just getting into DBA.
Right.
I didn't see it before. That's exactly the same time, which is the same time I was playing Rome Total War. All that, so all that fell into place.
So, what was your movie?
Yeah.
oh, I don't know.
Trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you
what's
just say.
medieval?
I know what it is. Cleopatra he just doesn't want to admit it.
I didn't see that until I saw it with my daughter when she was like 6. So I figured the whole thing.
See? But he still remembers Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, she was hot.
There you go. We're going to go with that one, Tony.
Before her drug habit and, everything else. But that's everybody in Hollywood. So. 1880 to 1830 to 1930s. 1800 to 1930s.
Waterloo. Okay, move on.
Really?
Next one. Yeah.
That's what you're going to go with?
Oh, yeah.
That's
That
what
was
you're
a
going to
good
go
movie.
with.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I like it.
Not Gunga Din or
Dude,
The
I
Man
said
Who
my
Would Be
answer.
King, or...
Quit trying to change my mind. Here, moving on with Marty here. What you got?
You know what movie I want to see? 55 Days of Peking. Never seen it.
That's good.
Is it a good movie?
Yeah. Because you know why?
Because it's got cool Chinese cannons in it.
Sean Heston's in it, too.
Yeah. You think?
Come on.
I don't know. Does
You got
Lord- does Lord
Moses.
Drift
You got
fall into
Moses
that?
and Ben
Yeah.
Hur.
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Okay.
are all good movies. That's
How
pretty
about
good. I'm going with Waterloo.
How about one movie that I used to love as a kid? Shout at the Devil.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Is that... Hey, now, wait a minute. How late do
World
we
War
go?
One,
How late do we go?
1830s.
Okay, yeah, you can get that then. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess we could have put the Blue Max in there, too.
Ooh. Yeah.
Blue Max is okay. Ooh, you've seen the newish Red Baron movie, right?
Yeah.
Man, okay, but the action sequence are freaking phenomenal. I mean, the action sequences are like incredible. The part where they shoot the tracers into that balloon and it just eats away with incendiary ammunition. Yeah,
You ever see
I
the-
know it's all fake.
You ever
Whatever.
see the Lost Battalion with
No.
Matthew Schroeder?
No.
Oh,
No,
that's good.
no. I got your silver spoon right here.
That's good. It's good. He doesn't act like a little kid in that one.
I remember seeing movies I hated. I hated that movie with Brad Pitt that was World War One movie. What's it called?
A river runs through it.
No, no, that sounds pretty shitty too.
Yes, it was.
We should start a movie show, but we'll probably complain about it. We'll be like, my wife will be like, "You sound like those two guys on the Muppet Show, always bitching
Yeah,
about
those
stuff."
two old guys.
So, if I badmouth Brad Pitt, I will not be able to sleep in my bed.
Oops.
at all.
I don't think he's a good actor.
We can bleep it out.
I don't. Okay, okay. You ready?
So, Dr.
All right.
Parrish and I
Mm-hmm.
go to see Troy
Okay.
with my wife.
Okay.
She sits in the middle. I sit on one side. He sits on the other.
Right.
And they go into the very first battle scene, and we start talking about the armor.
Oh yeah,
and
everything's
the
everything's
spears.
back out.
talking
Right.
about
And-
muscles.
And my wife is, shut up.
Oh.
I'm here to see Brad's butt.
Oh, see? Muscle. Butt muscle. Marty's like, oh, damn it.
Oh. Wow.
Uh,
I don't think Harrison Ford's a good actor. I think that he does really good at what he does.
Yeah.
His little tiny little wedge. But
So you're saying he doesn't make a good Russian?
he makes a terrible Russian. Sean Connery makes a good Russian.
Okay.
But
Right.
you know,
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Who does?
best World War II movie.
Best World War II.
Oh, we're drinking here. People just watching here. Legends of the Fall. I hated
Legends
that
of the
movie.
Fall. There you
I
go.
hated it. I'm like, oh, good, we're gonna see like gas warfare. Nope.
I like Tor.
Tor's a good movie. Yeah. That's your favorite World War II movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody out there, there's somebody actually out there likes what's the Guadalcanal movie, that Thin Red Line.
Thin Red Line.
Oh my god.
But that's not what I want to see in a war movie.
I'm
I want
sorry.
to see equipment blazing away at other equipment.
They only got like a 10-minute section where they assault the hill. That's it.
What's your favorite movie? World War II movie.
Well, you know,
Make it quick. Saving Private Ryan, because we can't pick Brand
Right.
Brothers.
Yeah.
And because Cross of Iron isn't made now.
Yeah.
Mm.
They had if they couldn't make it now, they'd probably
Yeah.
have Span of Brothers.
Post World War II. What's your favorite World War movie post World War
Post
II?
World War II.
I'm gonna say one that nobody's gonna think that I'm gonna guess it. By an actor that I didn't used to like.
Hmm.
Oh.
I just gotta remember what it's called.
Uh-oh. Who's the actor?
See, we go far future if we,
If you go to the actor, I can help you.
But no, real conflict.
It would have to be until, from now back.
What is the one about the bomb tech in?
Oh, you like that one?
I did.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Hurt
Okay.
Locker?
Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker.
I didn't like it because I couldn't imagine somebody being so not worried about
Black
getting
Hawk
killed.
Down is really
Oh.
intense too.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really good, but
Yeah.
really sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You know why? Because it's really
One of
true.
those two? Pick
yeah,
one.
probably Black Hawk Down.
Mitch?
The Wild Geese.
The Wild Geese.
Oh, I know the Wild Geese. I have it on CD. Well, that's because all the people that are in it are awesome.
That's right.
That helps.
Yep.
So, along the lines of Wild Geese,
Another colonial.
I gotta remember what the name of the movie is. I think it's called Dogs of War.
Oh, with
With him that I didn't used to like. From Queens. Christopher Walken.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Yes.
And what makes that movie great is because it goes into the behind the scenes and how they get that stuff
Yep.
into Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the modern Africa. Well, Blood Diamond is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the modern Africa theme for the
Blood
the
Diamond's really
chaos
good.
and
Now that guy can act.
yeah. So I don't necessarily agree. Well, I don't agree with Leonardo DiCaprio
But
on anything.
he can act.
But that guy can
Play different
morph
people.
into other people.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
He
you
did a
know,
really good
that's
job
what he's
as
supposed
Blood
to do.
Blood Diamond was
You know,
good.
yeah, Blood Diamond was excellent. Oh, I missed one.
Uh-oh.
How did you guys ever become buddies? You're polar opposites in many respects.
What?
Oh, just a
Is that,
stuff you
is
bring
that for
up.
you two?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's three.
I'm hot all the time. You're cold all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You like sweet drinks. I don't.
Yeah.
That's it. We agree on everything else.
Yeah.
Why are you dividing this? Why are you dividing this on stuff?
It's their mutual love for gaming. That's what
That's
bonds
huge.
them.
That's huge.
Okay. Mitch is testing the camera delay. CJ Hobby Fly, an hour and a half ago, asks, are there any armies not in the 4 army? This is a good question. Are there any armies not in the 4 army books you'd like to see, or is everything covered? Is there something in the 4 army books that are like, hey, they left out these sons of bitches. What's wrong with them?
I don't study the book that deeply.
Well, you're retired now. You can't.
Yeah, I guess I can now.
Slacker.
Boy.
Huh. What is not in there? I mean, we're covering everything from let's Stone Age to gunpowder. So
I wish it went to all the way through the 1500s. But stuff missing. I mean, I had much more than an average knowledge of civilizations before I started playing DBA. Now, I only did World War II gaming, but I mean, in college I took history for all my electives. So, you know, I had more than the average person. But there's civilizations I never even heard of that were in that book. So, I don't think anything's missing in there, unless, you know.
I'm going to help out the Australian people. The Aboriginal Army, you know, they must have...
Say it again, the who?
Aboriginal.
yeah.
Well, the Maoris are in there,
Is it?
but they're from New Zealand.
Is there enough?
See?
There may not be enough
They couldn't get enough
differentiation in some of the lists.
people.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, like, maybe Japan needs to be
More.
Well,
expanded
Japan now
on.
has like 5 lists now, Japan.
Do
Or
they?
6, yeah, they expand them quite a bit.
Okay, because it used to be back here. You know.
Yeah, back then it was
Days.
pretty boring.
Oh, that was back when they called them Orientals.
Yeah.
The Oriental list.
Japanese book list 127. 6 cav / 4 blade or 3 blade and 6 ox.
What's a better list? Let's put 1.0.
So, yeah, and that was it. There's no Emishi or
Well, there's a book 1 samurai, a book pre-samurai army.
pre-samurai.
Then there's early samurai.
Okay.
Then there's the post-Mongol.
Okay.
Okay. Then you've got Emishi. There's one other one that's in there. I guess it's like 5 lists. So. Hans Zeton says, "Do you have any particular memorable games you've played?" Yes, a lot of them. That's one of the reasons to do these videos. You see the zaniness, like, you know, all the ties and stuff that we have. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
The one I can think of right off the bat is when I took the Mongols, which, by the way, the Mongols are like the Turks, but like to a factor of like 12 of not being able to win games in DBA. And I was fighting your Poles, and you set up terrain, and it was in 2.2 or 2.2 plus. But anyways, you could put all the terrain however you wanted in whatever quarter. So I'm fighting in this swampland with a bunch of light horse, but I had 1 artillery piece. And that guy carried the entire army. He ended up killing like 2 bowmen, and he won the game.
Yeah.
That one was very memorable. And also when I did the Slavs, I played the Slavs against your Poles. It's book 1 or something like that. And it was like, you know, when you have something really one-sided, and you're like, well, there's no way I can win, and then you win. That's very memorable.
Uh-huh.
You know, especially when it's not even close. They don't happen very often, but you have anything memorable?
Winning the Nicked.
Winning the Nick?
Yeah. It was a pretty awesome game. So it was an open, right? You played with your
This is like 2003?
yeah.
Okay.
Way back then.
Maybe 2000 because it was right when I moved to Florida. So we played through the balance of the tournament with the army you brought,
Which was?
I brought the cheesy cheater freak companies.
Boo!
But it got me to the finals. So, and then in the finals we played, oh my God, some god-awful chariot armies in 25 millimeter that Bob brought, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but in order to win, I had to charge chariots with Saloy in the open ground.
And you pulled it off.
And I pulled it off.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I guess it was meant to
That
be.
does feel good.
Yeah, it
Guess it
feels
was meant to
really
be.
good.
Who did you play in the finals?
Mark. Mark, what is Mark's last name? I could see his face.
Pozniak?
Pozniak, yes,
Okay.
Mark Pozniak.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was great. That was a great game.
Who ended up winning the Nick in 2000 and
Did he? Good for him. He was a good
8.
player. Good
2008.
player.
Dice Man won in 9, I won in 10. Yeah. He won with the Athenians.
Ah,
Back when
Right.
Spear can be quick killed by elephants. There's nothing wrong with Spear,
Right,
but the
right.
fact that they got quick killed by elephants and Blade didn't, it's like, fine, I won't bring. Fine, I get the point. I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring Spear.
I won't bring Spear.
You know.
I'll just play Blades.
You? What's your favorite wargaming experience? Certainly not when I
Probably the runner-up deal against Diceman. Even though I lost it, it was a great
So your
game.
most memorable game is a loss.
He had the Quadratic and I had the both.
Okay.
It was a really good game.
So what happened?
He won. Well,
Oh, that's what
it
happened.
was one of those deals where I went into an attack that I was trying to control, and I lost control of it, but I was able to pull out of it and then reroute it, and it just made for a really good game.
Larry, here's to you.
Yes.
You are a great player and a good guy. So.
Larry or Dice Man?
Oh, sorry, Dice.
Have another drink.
I guess I should have.
It's delirium.
Yep.
I'm delirious.
Speaking of Larry, what's your worst wargame experiences? That's the next question.
Is it? Gee, certain players who are nitpicky on the rules and exact placement of, and when you do it, it's bad. Oh, you can't do that.
You can't pick the
But
same
when
person.
they do it, it's fine. You know, it's perfectly within.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't think we have any of those players here in this state.
Not in this state.
No, this thing.
That's good.
We can't pick the same people. Can we?
It's okay to do cheesy stuff as long as you realize when you do it, it's cheesy. Just be honorable. Okay, this is the South. You don't get to do shit like that. You're gonna get taken outside the parking lot, and you're gonna, 30 paces with pistols. Okay, and we believe in semi-automatic pistols here. Okay, so none of that crap. And just be honorable. Whatever you do, just be honorable. I've been blessed that everybody I've played with,
Right.
and a lot of it is, I'm not saying I'm responsible, but you can't say you gotta play fair and then you end up cheating. It doesn't, it's got to work both ways. So, yeah. What's your worst wargaming experience? That. My worst wargaming experience is have people that enter a tournament and then after one game leave and it just screws everything up.
That's right.
It just screws everything
That
up.
sucks.
So, if you're gonna join a tournament, you need to be in. We're
All the way.
only gonna
Start
tie
to
you up for
finish.
4 hours, and we're gonna have a good time. So, make sure you stay in for the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Yeah, it's
It's
not losing you go home. It's you can stay and play.
Why is my most memorable game a loss?
It's not that important.
Yeah.
It's not that important. So,
It's fun. It's about fun.
yeah, I would rather lose to a guy that I respect than beat somebody who's a dick.
Yep.
You definitely don't want to lose to that guy, though.
You know.
Just say it. Just
It always
say it.
felt better.
Toby Brock, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome, Toby. At what age do you think a kid can easily grasp the concepts in 3.0? Sorry, just got on and don't want to throw you off topic. Well, no, not now you don't. Now you're good. Easily at no age.
Yeah.
At no age can a kid.
Okay, so my son started playing at 12.
Right.
Right. And, I gave him simple army.
Vikings,
Rome,
Romans. Push.
Right.
Go.
He said go, yeah, just go and roll your dice.
Right. Right.
And he won the first so
So it worked.
including like a 9-0 victory over a Gallic army and
Oh, so it worked big time.
So yeah, so it worked big time. So it, yeah. I've seen kids 10.
It depends, because I guess our kids are lucky because they grew up with two
Right.
dads that game,
Right.
and so they knew about gaming. So it was easy for them to gather a concept of it.
Right.
Well, my
So
daughter
they're
doesn't
like-
want to game.
Well, there you go.
My daughter doesn't even want to get down to the game store. I'm like, hey, let's get down here. It's like,
Whoa.
No,
I thought you
those
said
guys-
You never wanted to introduce her to
those guys. No, she says, Daddy, those guys are weird. I said, honey, and this was like when she was like 11 years old. I said, honey, none of those guys ever kissed a girl. And she just laughed. No,
Some of those
I
guys
had.
are going to make a lot of money.
What's that?
Some of
Geeky
those guys.
gamers.
Some of those guys may make a lot of money, okay?
Yes.
But not if you don't freaking shower, okay? There's nobody that's making money that doesn't shower, okay?
So roll the dice.
So I had I'm not going to say my godson, but he's the brother of our goddaughter. He came over one time, and I played a couple games with DBA. Just set up stuff for him and just walk him through, and don't let him do stupid stuff. Just say, do you want to do A, B, or C?
Yeah.
And they're all reasonable things.
Give them
right?
options, and
then let them roll the dice,
let
and they'll
them
have a
pick.
good time.
Yep. Let
you
them
know?
pick. This is your
Um,
options. Here you go.
And that pretty much goes for teaching people the game, is just give them options of what to do, not like, what do you want to do? And then like sit back like, okay, I'm going to scratch this as a win.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get them to come back for more.
Yep. Get them involved.
So the age, I don't know.
Every kid's different.
Every kid's different. Bridge of Death. Gut Shot. Fango Wolf. Gut Shot. You just got Worthington's Cowboys. Worthington's the name of the company. They make a Rourke's Drift game. It's beautiful.
Oh, really?
It's a board game that looks... I've never even heard of that company, but,
Uh-huh.
you know, I'll do board... So the problem with me is I don't want to be point man any more rules. I'm like, this is burning me out, okay? You know, but I like playing all kinds of other stuff. But, yeah, Worthington is... they make a Rourke's Drift game that looks like the period that it's done in.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's worth a damn, but Legends of the Fall. Didn't that movie destroy the movie company that produced it? I don't know. I don't know, but there's a couple things that people do that, if I remember correctly, I only saw it one time, and he was made out to be kind of the hero. But when you start taking hearts out of people, no, you're the bad guy. You know. So anyhow. LOV, can you give a birthday shout out to my girlfriend Braxton? Okay, Braxton, happy birthday.
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Braxton.
Yeah.
And many more.
Unless you want to get rid of her, in which case you'll have to go to another channel for that.
Yep. Good luck.
Post World War II, somebody says we were soldiers or platoon. I like platoon. I got a bad feeling about this, Sarge. Best line in there. I got a bad feeling about this, Sarge.
What was the question?
Full metal.
Somebody said that they like. I didn't like We Were Soldiers. I didn't like. It was just too much of
Really?
the same thing. I didn't care for it.
We were soldiers or platoon?
Yeah, it was their choice for.
It
It was their choice.
Oh, their choice.
They're playing along. Try to play along, Mick.
Gotcha.
And realize there's other
Gotcha.
people playing along.
We were soldiers.
Drink.
I like We Were Soldiers, but I did not like platoon.
Kevin
Full
out.
metal jacket.
You did not like Platoon? Really? Why?
Because of the village scene. It's probably a life-altering scene for me. Because they were made to burn the village.
You mean the Retribution? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I've seen it a long time
They
ago.
were made to burn the village. They
Okay.
had orders to burn the village, right?
Okay.
And move the people out.
Right.
And
Not necessarily in that order?
not necessarily in that order.
Okay.
But anyways, they probably kept me from going to the military.
So maybe that was a good thing.
Maybe.
I don't think it would have worked out. You're too easygoing.
I can be both
You could be a
ways.
dick?
I can be a dick.
Okay.
I can be a dick.
Maybe I haven't rubbed you the wrong way.
I know
yet.
when to go.
I thought the villain. I thought that I need to watch that movie again, and I need to watch
We Were Soldiers.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket.
again. But Full Metal Jacket is two movies.
Yeah,
It's two movies.
Yeah.
And the first movie's better.
Yeah, you got basics and
Yeah, the
and
basic
war
is
zone.
the
Yeah.
my rifle,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh man.
So,
Freaking Emery. Great actor. Well, that was his job in real life.
so I ran into him.
Oh really?
No. I mean, we're watching Scrubs,
Oh.
and he plays the role of the janitor's dad in Scrubs,
Oh.
like on season 2 or something like that. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
that's hilarious. And he had a full head of hair. He didn't have his
Yeah.
crew cut. It was really strange seeing him.
Really makes him different.
Yeah, really strange seeing him
Yeah.
like a, Rick Keppen says, would you rather your entire army get quick kills against your opponent no matter the matchup, but, big but, your opponent chooses the order of combats all game? Or, tune in next week for the second part of the question.
Ooh.
Would you rather get to pick terrain, board edge, order of combat, but all game you roll 2 dice for pips and have to take the lower? Wow, you're like this is like Rick's Saw. This is like DBA Saw. Would you rather,
You guys answer
stick
that.
your head
I'll
in
be
front
back
of
and then we'll answer that.
the order of the matchups isn't that important. Of the combats, it's not that important. It can be, but it's not that important. I think picking the terrain is massive. It's massive because you don't get to place where it goes. Yes, but if you're placing an army that does not, say you're playing an army like the Mongols that doesn't really want terrain, and you win terrain, which is really unlikely, you can decide not to fight in a forest because you just don't pick one. You don't put one down. So it's not like I'll take anything except an ice cream sundae, and somebody gives you an ice cream sundae. But it's exactly what I didn't want.
Right.
So you get to pick what you don't. So I think that's huge. Pips, it depends how chaotic you are. I think I'm pretty well. I don't know if it's. Don't judge the games you saw earlier this evening.
So you're always going to get a low pip roll, and you can plan for it.
Yeah, you just are super conservative with your
very
troops.
conservative.
Other than that, I tend to be really conservative how I put my groups together. Like we all go in or nobody goes in. Generally, now sometimes you have a pistol held that you have to make decisions like that. But but normally that would be my preference is to stay in groups.
Right.
There's the other guy is trying to beat me. There's no reason for me to try to help him. You have to do it on your own, dude.
Do it on my
That's
own.
it. You have to do it on your own. I'm not going to help you beat me. That's your job.
Okay.
Okay? You got that?
I'm good.
Okay. CJ Hobbyfly. Oh, and you know what? Here's another question that it's not on here, but it's left over. I remember somebody asked. If you could refight any historical battle in DBA, which would it be and why?
Any historical?
In DBA. So it's got to be within DBA period. So don't pick one we've already done. Battle of Masana.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever done Sama.
I hear Hannibal loses.
I hear Hannibal loses, but I don't think I've ever done it.
So the really hard thing to do with DBA is the way elephants are deployed.
Right.
The way elephants are deployed in a lot of battles isn't like all of them in one group. They're spread around in front. You can't do that with DBA.
Unless you
You
modify
do
the
a
rules.
huge right. So that's the only problem is, and a lot of the battles you'll see, like even the successor battles, they'll do stuff that you just would never do in real life. Like they would a line of skirmishers and then elephants and then your whole line behind that. I'm like, they're gonna run into my line, or there's things that prevent you from doing that kind of stuff. And there's some players that we have in our group in Florida that like to play. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. They want to use historical tactics in a DBA game, and they don't work.
Right.
Because DBA war generally most war games is you hit somebody, you hit them in your weak point where you have an advantage, and you hit them with all you got. Not like I'll only send these guys in, so only these guys can die. That's not how you win a battle, okay? So that's how you have Vietnam, okay? You hit them with everything, and you hit them with them all the time, So. CJ Hobbyfly, you just asked the question I remembered, and I'm going to go ahead and go to it right now. And this is one that we missed. I think you did it afterwards, after we had one. I didn't catch it. Do you, Which battlefield would you like to visit, and which one would you like to go back and witness? If there's a battle you could go back and witness. I don't know. Battles. We like to play war games, but battles battles are just horrible. I don't want to see people get killed.
Exactly.
You know, I mean. Now, with that said, I would like to go back and see Kursk, because it's just Nazis and communists getting killed. So, you know, who cares, right? I know they're being forced to fight for the country, but it makes me feel a little bit better, right? I mean, you know. I was always a big Kursk fan. It definitely would be something in World War II. It would definitely be something in World War II. You?
That's what I'm thinking.
You would want to see, and this would be cool, Hannibal crossing the Alps, and exactly where that mofo crossed, and the exact composition of all the tribes when they attacked him, so that we can replay that with on the tabletop. Because that would be cool. That really would be cool.
I was thinking Dora Lamb too.
Okay.
That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
that's what you were gonna say.
Crusades.
So I came across something recently. One of my favorite people to learn about is Beaumont.
Okay.
So I came across somewhere that, you know, you'll read accounts and it's like, because if I'm going to do an early Crusades, that's who my leader's going to be, is Beaumont, because he was a badass. I mean, he was a dick, but he was a badass, okay? So, you know, he has a red banner and all this stuff. Right. Somewhere I come across that his shield, or somebody's impression of his shield is, it had like leaves on it, almost like palm fronds on it, like that, like on like a white background. I came across that recently. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. You know, whatever. But I would do Curse for sure. Mitch?
I guess I'd have to go on the pony runner.
Yeah. Waterloo. You guys, Shaco
He
man.
wants to see Waterloo.
Shaco man.
Yep. Or Leipzig,
Shaco.
the biggest one.
Shaco. You? Something like Hannibal. Hannibal crossing the Alps would be cool. Watching like what he had to deal with, how he fought off the tribes and stuff. I mean, I've read several accounts of it, of how they crossed the Alps, and you know, you don't know where it happened, but then when it did, it was like, you know, there was.
Trivia. Be interesting.
Don't step on ice. Oops.
Oh. So.
Yeah, I was going to get to that question. Which do you prefer, shooters or warband? Oh, come on. Nobody's going to pick warband. I love shooters.
Shooters are more useful, but warband has a purpose.
Shooters is like no risk and you get to kick it to somebody, you know? It's, no. Nobody likes warbands. Kevin says Battle of Marathon.
Marathon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Love to go back and witness the Battle of Hastings. See if Harold really caught an arrow in his eyeball.
Teach! Mrs. Brady,
What do you prefer, Anglo-Saxons or Normans? Well, let's piss off the people in the UK.
Normans.
I like the Normans too. I will always side, and a lot of people will do what I'm about to say. They'll side with the side that has the cooler equipment, dress, whatever.
Right.
That's why Germans are popular in World War II gaming. Not that there's a bunch of white supremacists running around, but like you take like a company like say Hasegawa or Tamaya or Miya,
Right.
you know, any of those. It's a Japanese company. Most of their vehicles are German because they had cool stuff. I mean, they were rat bastards, but they had cool stuff, you know. And you know, Cav General or Artillery General.
Oh.
Okay, that's Mitch's wet
Hey,
dream.
what's
of
that
the-
supposed
now,
to be?
Now in DBA 1.0, there's artillery, right?
Yes.
And in DBA 1.0, you can name any unit the general.
Any unit could be.
So you could have an artillery general
You
in
could have
DBA 1.0.
That's correct.
So that's what
it.
Mitch should play.
I'm going to play 1.0 from now on.
So what advantage does a general have in 1.0? Just plus one?
Just the plus one.
Woo!
Does
You
it
get for
get to
shooting?
shoot as a 5?
Yes.
Yes! Ah, I'm done with 3-0. 1-0, here we go.
Turnips or rutabagas?
I'm gonna rule
He
the
goes with
world.
rutabagas. I go with turnips.
I'm gonna rule the world.
Let's find it. All right.
It's gonna be like a
Plus
pillbox.
one. Plus one if the general's element in either in close combat or shot at.
What about shooting?
No.
What?
No. Sorry.
Totally broken.
So no. So what you do is you put whatever this device is, okay, artillery general or even a bow or something like that. You put it in a place where they have to shoot at it because it's close to them or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then when that you don't want to shoot at that guy, and when he does, bah, you know.
This is all right. So an element with less than or half the total of its opponent must make an immediate outcome move, which depends on its own type and that of the most dangerous opponent in contact with or shooting at it.
That could be debatable.
I like those words alone. Most dangerous.
Most dangerous. So
Woo! He looks pretty dangerous.
in
Stay
the
away from him.
prior to having the death by recoil with someone in flank contact, right? You would recoil and live even if he had a flanker on you. However, say it was an elephant that got hit frontally and you put a Saloy in from the side. Now, Saloy quick kill elephants. So in that case, the recoiling elephant would die because of the Saloy, because it was the most dangerous element in contact with it.
And you would determine that after you would compare the dice rolls.
Right.
Ah,
Okay. Well, I kind of like that.
So that's how it was prior to the
So what you're saying is they made other versions and they ruined the game?
yeah. Well, it tweaks, it get
Okay, so
tweaked.
there's 1.0,
Right.
then it went to...
Okay. So
Okay.
we have
Here's your history lesson.
we
There
have
you go.
1.0.
Okay.
We have 1.1,
woo.
which is
5 years later.
pretty similar. Army lists are the same, right?
Then there was DBA Online.
DBA Online came.
Okay.
Yes.
What was different about that one?
DBA Online actually played a version called 1.22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was very similar to 2.0, but there were some minor tweaks enough that it made it not. You'd get surprised by things every once in a while when you're playing it. 'Cause,
Imagine it.
yeah.
Well, one thing that it has in it, because when I was starting to learn how to play 2.2,
Right.
I started playing DBA Online,
Right.
which was a mistake. Because it was, trust me, really confusing.
Right.
But one of the things that I think that it did better is the way when bows double like horse, they cause them to flee,
The nice thing about
not kill them.
The nice thing about DBA Online was it taught you about the exactness of getting into base to base
And zone of control.
and zone of control.
And zone of control.
Yes. That was I played a lot of it before I went to the NICT, and it helped quite a bit. It really did.
Yeah. So then you have 2.0,
Then we have 2.0,
okay,
right?
which is the same list that 2.2 has.
Yes.
Okay. So significant difference
Yes.
in a better way.
In a bit.
Okay.
And then finally we went to 2.2.
No.
Now there was a there was
that,
a
yes.
there's an interim in here somewhere. I'm trying to remember what it is. There was a cut and paste that was only came out, and I found a copy of it on my computer. I'll have to print a copy if you want to have a record of it. But it was an interesting version that you were supposed to cut and paste it into your rule book.
Oh,
Anyway.
record
Okay.
for the courts.
Yeah.
So were you the one responsible for, now you have to measure all front corners? All corners. You have to measure all
Right.
corners?
Right. So I think in 2 we went to you only measured the 2 front corners, and I pointed out that, on these extra long knights and war wagons, once you got your front edge beyond the rear of an enemy element, you could basically do what became known as the Martian flip, right? And you would just hit them in the rear, but the 2 rear corners of your element would go way beyond your movement rate.
Right.
For normal movement rate for an element. So, but you only had to measure the front corners. Front corners would go 40, but your rear end would go like 120 or something like that.
Okay.
So that's when he changed it back to measuring all 4 corners.
I don't want to ever play that way again.
Yeah.
The measuring all corners. That was cumbersome. Cumbersome to take place, to say the least. But.
So I was on the 2.0 playtest group. Did a lot of review of it.
In 1.0, is killing the general still worth an extra point?
Yes.
No, in 1.0
Well,
it's like 2.0. If the general's dead, you lose.
It was general and more.
General and more. So you could snipe the general, like I did in another battle the other day, and I didn't win because his Polish general just said, and just left. I would have won the game.
A lot of games in 1.0 and 1.1 ended
Right.
with
You snipe the general.
The bow versus knight general. You put the arrow through the eye slit. Game was over. 6-1 roll.
Yeah.
And it was, because you lost your general and more elements than your opponent.
Right.
It was 1-0, and
So 1.0 was the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now 3.0 is like, mere Prussian, sir.
Do you think a fifth DBA book with various fantasy armies from things like Middle Earth and Game of Thrones would be popular? Perhaps getting people only who game into that genre into historical DBA.
Okay, so I think I did this once with you guys. We tried doing what we called historical hot, right? Where you took your DBA army list and you could add one fantasy element from Hordes of the Things. And then we tried to figure out how it best fit as far as the combat table went. So like, you could, instead of having an elephant, you had a dragon, right? Or you played skeletons in your Greek army for Jason and the Argonauts type thing.
And that's easy to do because
wizards and
the easiest thing for gamers to understand is that different units have different capabilities and different factors that you can figure out. The weird alignment and geometry within it, if you want to keep that the same, that's,
And Hordes has a lot of those lists. It's a point-based system rather than a 12.
This is what you get.
This is what you get.
Get what you get. You don't get upset.
you could do it. You could do it if you wanted to do the time, and that's like I've got an old Fantasy Games Unlimited Royal Armies of the Hyborian Age with all the Conan armies in it, Zamora
What is
Numidia and all.
Enough talk.
But those were more like WRG 6th or 7th edition type lists,
You ever played WRG 6 and 7?
I played one game of it. I went with Dr. Parrish up to Jacksonville and went to Derek's place and played.
They play Warrior, right? And Warrior is one version of it.
It's Warrior now. 7th edition became Warrior. But I think I played one game with those guys, and it was big. There was a lot of counting being done and a lot of dice. So I long ago discovered I don't like bucket of dice games, which is, I like simple, fast playing beer and pretzels type things, which
really?
You could just play more of them.
You just play more.
Yeah, it's not like I don't want to play for 6 hours. I want to play 6 different games. Or
Exactly.
7.
Or 7.
Right. What happens to a camp if a friendly elephant is forced to recoil into it?
What happens to a camp?
I think the elephant dies. I'm pretty sure if anybody recalls in a camp, you're hosed.
If there's a defender in the camp, the defender would die.
Oh, usually
I think that the elephant would displace who's ever in the camp.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's because if the elephant gets the running start, he kills everybody. But if the elephant's already backed up against the camp, then he dies.
If the recalling element is elephants, all friends or enemy met that are not in a BUA or camp are destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? So that means if they're in a BUA camp, they're not destroyed. Elephants recoiling from close combat against the defenders of a city or fort are destroyed. So if they're attacking a city and they're forced to recoil, they're destroyed.
Okay, so they're gonna back up until they bump into the camp,
And then they die.
and they're gonna stop. And if they recoil again, they're gonna die. Okay.
A recoiling or pushback element whose rear edge or rear corner meets terrain you cannot enter, a battlefield edge, friends that cannot pass through, or push back. Enemy or a city fort or camp ends its move there. Stops. An element already in such contact with any of these cannot recoil and is destroyed instead.
Okay.
So you stop. If you're all the way up against a camp, pop goes the
Stop.
weasel.
Yeah. But you don't destroy the element in it because
Nope.
they're behind defenses.
It was an array you could cut up and paste. It's time for somebody to buy the DBA license and make a nicely edited, clearly defined, full-color version with diagrams and such for new players. So how do you buy something that's not for sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to see Pro Mongo.
Yeah.
What'll happen to it when he passes? That's the question.
CJ Hobbyfly, my favorite game is a World War I aerial combat game called Wings of Glory, sometimes called Wings of War. Have you ever heard of it, played it? It's very much a beer and pretzels kind of game. Have you played it? You don't have it.
No, I get blue man.
I've got probably about 20 aircraft at home now.
I have a dozen aircraft, all the rules that I sold all my 2,400 skill ships to purchase and never played it. Now, with ex-DBA guys, we had an online thing going on where this guy would literally draft where all the things were, and so we played it quite a bit. But I have even the maps and everything. We could play it one time. You want to play it while I'm gone? Next week? You want to play it later this week while the wife's gone?
That's fun.
It's okay. My only gripe with it is that the Allied aircrafts have advantage in every category. They're faster, they turn tighter, You just gotta give the Germans better pilots to even things out. Generally, that's the case. Unless you're...
Did the Germans have more ammo?
No. You don't know about the ammo, it's just whatever happens, happens.
Oh, that's right.
I have it, it's a good looking game. Even Leather Miniatures is a good looking game. I prefer, because you basically do there's move cards, and you have this thing where you have to plot 3, and then when you consume them every bound, then you have to put another 3. I think it would have been better if you play 1, and then you reset, so you're always 3 ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't write the rules, so
Why not?
Kelly Davis says, make him an offer. He doesn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
I respect him. I respect people that can't be bought. That's why I don't like lawyers. They can be bought. No, I respect people that say I'm doing this because of my love of it or whatever.
It's his baby.
It's his baby. And we either play it or we don't. That's why I don't particularly interested in building the Mongols. Because as soon as I build the Mongols, well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to build the Mongols, and then we're going to do a game with the Russians. It's a historical game, and there'll be special rules to make the Mongols more Mongol-y, and then we'll like that, and maybe, I don't want to go down that road. So, the worst thing about DBA is not everybody plays it. To splinter off and, well, we play this way, we play this other way, and, we play that
We don't want that.
knights don't quick kill blades. No, we're not
We don't want
interested in
that.
doing that. So,
Flashlight versus rug.
what's that?
Flashlight versus rug Zox.
Oh yeah. So, speaking of which, do you like pass-through Zoc?
No.
Really? Why not?
No. Because I think it really reduces the maneuver a lot.
Okay.
I think that if you had a block of solid troops
I called it
interposed,
pass-through Zoc. I should have called it X-ray Zoc.
X-ray Zoc,
X-ray
yes.
Zoc.
You know, if you had a block of troops between you and the enemy, you should be able to attempt to, get on, move, still continue to maneuver on the flank. Not, I'm stuck because
Well,
there's enemy beyond this guy in front of me who's there to be the blocking force, right? So,
do you like it?
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it
I
either.
plan for it.
Now, I don't know what was going on in Phil's head, but I rationalize it as I'm the Army commander, and these guys are close to the action, and they can't see too good, and they're like freaked out and not being able to make a decision. That's how I justify it.
Right.
So it forces you to maybe create another line for that stuff. So I don't mind it, but we like controlled chaos. We like chaos management. That's what I do every day for a freaking living. You think I'd win more games? Maybe I need to roll the dice at work. Maybe I don't need to roll the dice at work. If you had to choose beer and pretzels or chocolate milk and flavor-based goldfish, flavor-blasted goldfish,
Man.
flavor-blasted goldfish.
Oh, I'm just gonna stick with the beer.
beer and pretzels.
Yeah, no, I don't like chocolate milk. You ever have a thing for yoo-hoos? You have yoo-hoos? Yoo-hoos, no. No, I don't like chocolate-flavored things generally. I like the fruity things.
I do, but not right now.
Why? You trying to cut back?
No, I like chocolate.
Do you?
Eh,
Okay. You played Wings of Glory the way you suggest. It does make a better game. I prefer World War I than World War II. Things move slower. There's so many different kinds of World War II aircraft. I don't think that many are
so many.
are represented. I would think. So. Okay. Anything else? Anything? Going once? Well, we've been on here almost 2 hours.
Cool.
Is there anything else you want to know about Marty?
Something popped up.
It's 3300. It's 3:30 in the morning.
3:30
in
in the
jolly
morning.
old England.
Ah.
Bedtime for me. Thanks for answering my questions, and we'll see you next time.
Oh.
Looking forward to the Wings of Glory.
Cheers.
I don't know if we'll film it. We probably could. We could
Cheers.
play a game and film it. There's actually some solo rules for it. You can go against barrage balloons and do busting missions. I just gotta read through the rules. It's not complicated. It's a good looking game. I've got the big mats for. Speaking of mats,
We're supposed to play Gaslands one of these days.
we're supposed to play Gaslands one of these days. That's probably.
We can start playing Nappies Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
It's okay. I don't mind Nappy's because he's. If you got questions, you don't have to look him up. You just have Joel,
Exactly.
and he has all the stuff handy to do.
Exactly.
You, when are you coming? You're coming next week.
I'm coming next week.
Okay. What day are you coming? Monday.
I'm coming Monday.
You want to play Gaslands Monday?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do.
We could do Gaslands on Monday.
No.
And,
No. You and I need to play Gaslands before Monday.
oh,
Okay.
yep.
So that we're familiar with it, because
Yep.
if we don't have Scott's been kind of our go-to on Gaslands, and yeah, Gasland's a blast.
Yep.
Speaking of chaos management, that's definitely
Chaos.
one of them. Yeah, that's definitely one of them.
Very much.
But I won the first Gaslands game we ever played, just so you know.
Prove it.
I got the plaque. I will tomorrow when I pick it up from Walgreens. No, it's fun. I just don't want to film something where we act like we don't know what we're doing. Well, we make mistakes. We're gonna make freaking mistakes.
Yeah.
It's a shame. But if anything, we'll show you that we're having a hell of a good time here. So,
Well, when
holy crap, we got it. What's that? Oh yeah, the Gaslands book.
not all of this is rules, but
It's a beautiful
beautiful book.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got the.
it's not all
charts.
rules, but
Hey, this is sticky. What
Oh,
are we
I'm
doing
sorry.
with these rules?
I was
What you been doing?
beep. Okay,
Yeah,
back to
we've
that.
played like 6 or 7 games of it. The only
Yeah.
thing I don't care for in it, which is not a big deal, is the fluff. the background information of what this author decided to make his land, but you can have it be whatever you want. We haven't played with teams and stuff like that, so that's what we're going to do, Marty. The wife's gone on Wednesday.
Okay.
So between Wednesday and over the weekend, I don't know what your schedule is. I have a pretty good idea.
Pretty good.
You and I will play some stuff. We'll struggle through it.
Yep.
So that on Monday we'll
Be ready.
be familiar with it again. It's excellent. It's certainly worth playing, and I think you would enjoy it. It's one of those that you don't care if you win. You really don't care if you win.
Star Wars, like
It's
Right.
just,
No, you finish a game.
you finish.
No,
Yeah.
Car Wars, you never finish a game. It's better than Car
this,
Wars.
you will finish the game.
It's better than finish.
Somebody will die.
Oh my gosh, we got a lot of different ones. Can missile units shoot over friendlies if greater altitude? No, not in DBA. Not in DBA. You can't shoot over other guys.
We've done it for scenarios, but
In scenarios, artillery can shoot over Saloy.
Through.
Friendly
Through.
through. Right. Over.
Enemy.
It's over.
it's over.
It's not going to be under the Saloy.
Oh.
Okay, bowling
Over,
for people.
over, yeah.
You know.
And they can shoot through enemy slowly.
Yeah. Marco Mavro in South Africa in the 1990s, the old Edwardian Sports Club. Where's this going? There were approximately 30 TBM players that played a weekly league. They took the map of Europe and everybody was assigned a territory. One person acted as God. And why does God have to be a European? I mean, it doesn't offend me, but I just know somebody's going to be.
Come
you know.
on.
That's like insulting.
It wasn't biased.
One person acted as, they just acted like God. The
Acted.
European wasn't really God. They just acted like God.
He
Okay.
was the moderator.
Was he Belgian? And determined natural disasters for output. People were able to raise armies and were specific to the territories they owned, and they did. These Byzantine alliances and battles. Have you heard anything similar? Are there rule books for games like this? So, a long time ago, there was people that were trying to talk me into doing a played-by-mail game. Now, we're talking like 1987.
Okay.
Where you would get some fantasy land and you would have to. So just imagine playing like a really like. You played Rome Total War, the Total War series, right?
Yeah. A little
Have you played any of the new ones? They're like super complicated.
No.
Well, like you're trying to like develop buildings. Just imagine that through correspondence. Like, no, I don't single-handedly want to keep the postal service in business. Okay, that's what it would end up turning into. Well, now you can do it by email, but and they would charge you $3 per turn because somebody's out compiling all this stuff, you know.
So, search online for a DBM campaign game called Magna Gracia. See if you can find a copy of it. I've got a copy of it at home that I printed off long time ago, but it's got all the point-to-point movement for the different areas in Sicily, and the way they set it up was that each one of the points has a basic map already pre-done for it, and depending upon who was the attacker or defender, you could choose to be either forward defense or middle or rear defense, and you could adjust how you wanted. The terrain was preset, but you could determine which
Part of the terrain you're
of
going to
that,
play in.
which part of the board you were
That's
going to play
interesting.
on. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it was. I always wanted to do it as a. It's set up to do first Punic War, second Punic War, and you could also. I used it for kind of our Normans in Sicily game too, so it could be adapted to that as well.
Which would you rather, play as Scots Common every game for a year, or Rutabagas are always in play every game for a year? Why? Rick needs to create his own Saw channel. Would you rather, roll left-handed for a year, or I'll take whatever the other thing is. I can't do anything left-handed.
The Perfect Captain, those campaigns, Princes of the East.
Oh, I've wanted to do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah. I've
are
wanted to
great.
do that.
Yeah.
Have you played any of them?
I have not played any of them.
Well, the original Princess of the East has DBA-sized armies and
That's
uses
right.
DBA
Right.
to fight it out.
Yeah.
They have some cool stuff.
Yeah.
They their website's kaput.
Oops.
It's there. It's
You can find it.
you can find
You can find
You
it.
can still find
Nothing ever.
right.
Be careful what you put on the internet, folks. It can be found.
I actually have them in files on one of the 20 some odd hard drives from old computers that I have saved. Got rid of the computers, but I saved the hard drives. And I've got a hub now.
I've always wanted to play that. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to
I've
play
always wanted to play
Spanish Fury, obviously.
Spanish Fury.
I've always wanted to play Spanish Fury because their command things are, very period specific. I don't know if it's worth a damn,
Right.
but it looks nice.
It's very cool.
Haplomachia. Haplomachia looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like make the little books and actually I came across somebody. If you go to Haplomachia on Board Game Geek, there's a guy. I forget where he's from. He's probably Greek because it would make sense. He made like stand-up three-dimensional figures,
Yeah.
so you could do stand-up figures like that,
Ah.
and they look like Ziggy. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're comic book, but they work.
Right.
With all the Spartans, and it's
Uh-huh.
really, really nice. Really, really nice. You go on there and look at pictures on there. But it actually tells you how to make
Right.
their little rule book that looks like clay tablets, and it's some really nice stuff. God is definitely not European, but don't tell the Europeans. He was English, of course. The guy who thought he was God was English.
Oh, man.
Ah,
Right. Sorry
what about the
that.
Welsh? What about the Scots?
Right. Sorry about that.
You're just stirring up trouble, aren't you?
I'm not. I'm just reading what they say.
Oh, God.
You know,
Ah,
Tony's always entertaining.
I'm always entertained.
That's why we love him.
There's one of my favorite things to say is, and I just said it to somebody. I didn't get a rise out of him. This guy said something about St. Patrick's Day. And he's like, "Oh, thank God I'm Irish or whatever." I said, "Well, you ought to thank God for my people in 1588, or if it wasn't for my people crashing on your shores in 1588, you'd be a freaking ginger too."
Hey, you talk bad about us, Ginger.
Hey, not everybody needs freaking freckles. You know, I actually like redheads, but we're gonna leave it at that. They get angry a lot.
They can, yes.
Well, we all can, except this guy.
No.
You can piss on this guy's grave, and he's good.
I'm married to a red-headed Irish girl, so,
Is there any other kind?
Ah,
Probably not.
No. Yeah, getting a rise out of Marco. So anyways, that was good. Thanks for your interaction. We're 2 hours and 7 minutes. 12 people we've been carrying around like a really heavy load on a wheelbarrow. So thanks for coming by. And I can't believe you found us entertaining, but that's excellent. No, we appreciate it. And if you guys have any other questions for next time we do this, just add them at the bottom of this video, and we'll check them out. Nothing has been too stupid yet. So
yeah.
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's like, hey, you ever played Truth or Dare? I prefer Truth than Dare.
Okay.
You know, so
Depends upon the...
no, you don't have no. No.
Oh,
Anyhow,
gosh.
So anyways, until next time, don't forget to put your any comments you have on there, any suggestions for next time, and we'll see you guys soon. We will definitely be filming again in a week. And if you guys aren't interested in some dumbass that does a lot of painting, well then don't tune into me for the next week or so, because there'll be a lot of painting videos.
So are we going to do some DBA and some Gaslands, or are we just planning on doing Gaslands?
Gaslands will take all night.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
It's
that in a
not
bad
a-
way.
yeah.
The last time we played, we'll figure out something simple to do so we can
Yeah.
get through a game.
But
There's a way. It's okay. It's kind of like BattleTech.
Okay.
We're gonna play with 100 tons, and if you buy one mech that's 100 tons, it's easier to get through a game
Right.
than if you buy 3,
yeah.
Okay.
because your turn comes up more often, and
Yep.
we need to play it to get used to it again.
Okay.
It's not difficult. The rules are written better than maybe some other rules that are easier to understand. But there's always, when you play something hard, there's always loopholes you find. You know.
Right,
But
well,
it is a fun game, and you've been wanting to do it for a while.
But I don't have to, displace DBA, which is entertaining the group.
Well, this will be entertaining.
Okay, so go ahead and put your comments if you want us to do Gaslands on Monday. We'll do some Gaslands. Who wants to see Marty crash?
And burning.
We were also semi-planning some
Or blow
collision
up.
course, so if you prefer a collision course, let us know.
Okay, well, let us know.
Vote now. They're voting.
Yeah. 1-800, we don't give a shit.
Kind of depends upon
Yeah.
Scott being here too,
It depends on Scott
Yeah.
being here. Yeah. Because his collision course idea was coming.
Yes.
So, interesting thing about collision course.
Yes.
I thought the collision course was always 30-inch boards. But Australian Greg says, well, you guys have been smoking. You could play on a 24 by 24.
Ah, okay.
We have never played collision course on a 24 by 24.
Where
And
is-
he suggested,
Where's my mat?
Right over there.
Right over there.
what is that where you're sleeping on?
You want it?
No, yeah, let's get it.
Ding, 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 ding.
So,
Oh, here it is.
so he was suggesting if we did Greek armies or something like that, to do it on 24-inch boards.
I heard you made a comment
I did.
Last
I make
week
a lot of comments.
about
I didn't really mean
doing
it, though.
24-inch deployment on a 30-inch board.
I did.
Right?
I did because I like being restricted. I'm
Okay.
into being handcuffed.
So, this is
Whatever that means.
this is a 30-inch board with the 24-inch deployment area
Okay.
marked off in the middle.
Except there's crayon all over it.
Oh,
I got wet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was in the trunk of my car. And
So this is the 24-inch board inside the 30.
Yes.
It's funny. It looks bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you're talking about deploying your force
Right.
about there or so.
So my mod was you would go ahead and deploy the terrain per the normal rules,
Okay.
right?
On the larger board.
On the larger board.
Okay.
Which meant you could push the terrain out to the flanks more and not have it so much occupying the middle of the board,
Which would be more realistic.
which would be more realistic.
Right.
And then you would do your deployment on the 24-inch and just have this extra range to utilize if you
Sure,
could.
we could try that.
And also, it allowed you, if you had the supersized camps, right,
gives you more room.
it gives you more room.
Do you have any of those?
No, all mine are based on the 2 stand wide by 1 stand
Do
deep.
you have any supersized camps?
No.
I don't think I do either.
Some people do, though.
Okay.
We
We won't invite them.
So it just allowed my thing was you would put the minimum amount onto in the 24-inch, and you would have all this extra room
Right.
behind in order for the oversized camp to fit.
Right.
So
Well, when a lot of people were complaining, like, oh, the 24-inch board is really cramped. Well, you don't have to set up all the way at the front. Set up all the way in the back so you have an extra
Exactly.
turn to think about what you're going to do on your plan.
I did that
You
to
know?
him earlier tonight. I said
Today.
today. Yeah,
Did you win?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a viable tactic.
gave me extra turns.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay, that's something else we can do too. So, if you guys want to see Gaslands, let us know on Monday, and we'll take that into consideration.
okay,
So,
sounds good.
okay. Well, that's it for Marty. We'll,
Thanks for letting me join you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's
being
always
here.
good. We couldn't have done it without Marty, or he wouldn't have been here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how it works out.
Thanks, Marty.
Yeah.
For being here.
Thanks, Marty's wife, for letting him play.
Now for
It
the
was like,
real
oh.
job.
I got the bed all to myself.
Are you a bed hog?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes. Actually, I steal the covers from her. That's what she accuses me of.
Do you steal the covers and you want the covers, or you're not careful what you do it in the dark?
Actually, what happens more often, I'm hot, so I will put the covers back down and get on top of the bed, but then she can't pull the covers over on top of her because I'm pinning them down.
Sounds like a constant struggle.
Sounds like you need to share a room with me, not her. Then you won't be hot.
I have shared a room with you. I'm bringing my long underwear with
Arctic.
me next time.
Arctic.
Arctic. Well, I have a ceiling fan all the time. So if I go to a hotel room, which
Yeah.
most of them don't have ceiling fans, you have to make up for that. So
It's
it's
not
like,
paid for the electric.
how low will it go?
Woo!
60.
Tony walks in the room. Where's the thermostat? Turns it down to 60
Frosty.
or less. First thing. First thing.
Right? And just think, I'm a gamer-sized medium.
It's
You
like,
said
the,
small.
You're a small. You're a small.
it's like the Christmas show cartoons. He's Mr. Winter.
It happens. Okay. Until next time, we're signing out. See you, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.